Before we begin, there are some terms that will be repeated throughout the video that are important to be known. First, GitHub, which is a cloud-based program used to store, manage, and share code. Within GitHub, there are repositories, which are a type of folder where a project's history, files, and code are stored. This can be either private or public. To commit something to a file means to save a change. Each of these act like a snapshot of your project, letting you track the history of changes. These commits are sent from your computer to GitHub through pushing. Update the repository with the latest version in your files. Finally, clone simply means to copy an existing repo from GitHub to your computer, letting you work offline, and then push the changes made. Caution: be careful when naming your repository. Repository names are public by default unless you set them to private. Choose a name that does not reveal sensitive or personal information. Warning: uploading large files without using Git large file storage can cause issues with your repository and may result in slow performance or upload failures. Always check file size limits before uploading. Danger: do not upload files that contain personal information, such as password, API keys, or confidential data. Public exposure of sensitive information can lead to serious security breaches. Troubleshooting: if you encounter any problems during this process, these troubleshooting tips may help you. Ensure that you have an internet connection when installing Git and verify that it was installed. Be sure to confirm that your remote URL with git remote v git status can check for uncommitted changes, and using git pull before pushing is a good habit to have to avoid conflicts. Any merge conflicts will have to be resolved manually, then committed and pushed again. If problems continue to persist, reclone the repository as a last resource. Maintenance: once your GitHub repository is all set up and good to go, there are still a few extra tips to follow to maintain and avoid any possible problems. First of all, GitHub offers a lot of free security options to protect from digital threats. There is no downside to enabling these. Be sure to avoid vague commit messages. This can help avoid confusing situations or mistakes. Maintaining a clear repository naming pattern will increase overall organization, further avoiding confusion and increasing clarity. Occasionally, double-check your README and update it. It's what third parties first see when viewing your repository, so keep it updated with what changes were made to your project. Last but not least, avoid uploading files that are unimportant or just clutter. It avoids having to shift an unnecessarily large amount of files. Okay, so let's get started. For step number 1, which is installing Git from its official website, go ahead and hit downloads and choose your operating system. We're gonna go to the downloads area over there, right top, and click on it and just accept. The screen went black, but it's just gonna show you something. You just have to accept it. Now for step number 2, we're creating a GitHub account. Going to github.com, clicking on sign up and following the prompts so that you can create your account. Now we're gonna go to the plus icon at the top right of the screen to create a new GitHub repository. And you can just put the data on it, like a brief description if you want to be private or public, a name to it as well. Once that's finished, just create the repo. Now we're gonna open the terminal, whether it's by command prompt, PowerShell, or Bash. Now we're going to initialize the Git repository locally by putting the following command. And from there, we're going to add files to the local repository. This is now step number 6 with the git add command. Now for step number 7, we're committing the changes using the command that is being written down now on the screen. And now for step number 8, we're going to link the local repository to the remote one by adding the remote URL to link your local repository to the GitHub repository you previously built. Now for step number 9, we're going to push the code to GitHub with the command that's being written down right now. And for step number 10, we're going to verify the code on GitHub by refreshing the page. And then you can verify that the files were pushed from your local repository and they should be visible. Yep. And then you check to make sure the files in the commit message appear as intended. If all of that is fulfilled, then you successfully created your own GitHub repository and populated it